Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Captain Logan Show. It is me, Captain Logan. And joining me, as always, is my wonderful chat moderator and producer, DJ Martinez. DJ, we are back once again. It kind of feels like we just did this like yesterday.
Feels like it was yesterday. It's like riding a bike.
Well, no, riding a bike would be like you haven't done it in like a really long time, and then you get back on it, and you're like, I don't know if I know how to do this, and then you start pedaling. Oh yeah, that's right, I know how to do this. This is like, wait, I've slept since the last time. Like this is like if you were riding a bike and you got off, and then somebody made you get right back on it again. That's what it's more like.
Exactly.
You gotta get your metaphors straight, DJ.
Well,
because if you don't, I will incessantly analyze them.
Well, I like to create new things for you to analyze. Because you're not analyzing as much as you used to. So I want to keep you fresh.
Are you saying that I'm past my prime, DJ? Are you like, yeah, he's been at it a long time. He's getting a little older. He doesn't analyze like he used to.
No, you just you're focusing on the unfamiliar. The surprises that the patrons give you. So
that's true. Well, hey, we do some analysis on that. It's just, off the cuff because I don't have time to write anything right now.
Yeah. It's just always a surprise. Surprise analysis.
It is. Although not as much of it is a surprise for me because we have like a 5-month backlog of those.
Yeah. That's true.
So I've at least heard of all those things. I just don't know what all of them are. Anyway, how the heck is everybody? DJ is talking about the request. Quick plug for that. Austin and I do those on Wednesdays every week. We do a requested review that somebody gives us on Patreon. Like I said, we've got a big, long backlog for that. But if you've never made a request there and you're interested in doing that, we get thorough. We talk about those things for at least an hour most of the time. Patreon.com/geekvolution. $15 tier is how you get access to that. And you only have to do it one time. You don't have to stay on it every month to get it. So, if it takes us 5 months to get to yours, you don't have to stay on the tier for 5 months. It only has to roll over the one time. Anyway, quick plug for that. We're also doing commentaries now, too, if you haven't heard about this. So, for double that, at the $30 tier, we'll actually talk while watching the movie if you request the movie. And we also do it for Superhero Rewind now, also at the same tier, $30 tier. Let's see. Quick news stuff. So I just started this week shooting the Superhero Rewind movie. We have had our first shoot. We did that the other day. I don't want to talk at all about what it is. I posted a picture of green screen, so that's all I can tell you right now is I shot something that required a green screen, and it was here in the office. That's all I can tell you. It was the first shoot. It wasn't a full kind of set shoot or anything. It was I don't want to talk. I don't want to tell you what exactly it was. But I've started getting props and other equipment, and we're going to be ready to start shooting full-blown scenes here in the next couple of weeks. And I'm going to start getting into old man Captain Logan mode. I got to play an older version of myself, and I haven't figured out exactly what that's going to sound like yet, but we're working on it. And anyway, so it's a really exciting project. I wanted to let folks know that my plan was originally to shoot that on weekends, and sometimes we will have to do full-blown weekend shoots, take a couple days. But it looks like the right day for that for everybody working on it is going to end up being Tuesdays. So we may not have a lot of Star Trek clubs for a while, because if I'm only shooting twice a month on a Tuesday night for 2 or 3 hours, you guys are gonna be lucky if you see this movie in the next 3 years. So I'm gonna need my Tuesdays for a while. It's looking more like. The hope is to have the thing mostly shot by the end of the year. We're gonna really take our time with it. So I don't have a fast deadline for it. I'd love to be able to show it to you guys by the end of next year, I'd love to be able to show it to you by middle of next year. But it could be the end of 25, early 26, which sounds kind of crazy, but we want to take our time, do it right, and we're having to fit it in the middle of everything else that everybody's doing. So everybody be patient with us. We are working on it. It is going to happen, whatever that project ends up looking like. But I'm really excited about it. I'm having a lot of fun scrounging for stuff. About to start having guest drive-in to be in the movie and stuff like that. So I shouldn't say it like that because then you're gonna think that there's like famous people in the movie. But I'm having at least a couple people from out of town that you've seen on the channel before coming in for it. So anyway, okay, I just wanted to mention that real quick. Tonight we're gonna do a regular Ask Me Anything show. We're gonna open with a lead-in topic and chat a little bit about the Joker 2 trailer. I don't have a lot of thoughts, but that's the big teaser. That's the big teaser that came out this week. There was a Comic-Con somewhere where some new footage and announcements and things happened, and we haven't gotten a ton of stuff yet, but that we got that, and then I've got a couple other little pieces of news I'll bring up as well. If there's anything else that you really want me to talk about tonight, as always, you can leave a super chat, any dollar amount, and we sure appreciate the support from folks doing that. You certainly don't have to, of course. Thanks just for watching, and you can participate by leaving regular questions in the comments as well. Make sure to tag DJ Martinez at DJ Martinez, or at Films by Color, or at Floaty Microphone Man. He'll answer to all of these things and more. But super chat any dollar amount guarantees that we talk about your topic, and we've also got some Patreon questions that we'll try to get to as well. I put out feelers for that every month, so if you want your questions in ahead of time, especially if you can't make the show, patreon.com/geekvolution, just the $2 tier gets you access to that. Okay, everybody, let's go ahead and jump into the lead-in topic. DJ, I know you didn't see the first Joker. You're not going to care about this. I'm sure you didn't watch this trailer. Although somebody named DJ Martinez did watch this trailer. I got I got this really weird message from Austin the other day. I should have put it on the screen. I got this weird message from Austin the other day where he was like, "Well, DJ's got opinions." And it's a comment under the trailer, and it says DJ Martinez, and under it says, "Yeah, this isn't it, fellas," or something along those lines. And I was in the middle of something when he said it to me, so I wasn't paying real close attention to like what I don't know if it was a video or a blog. I can't remember now, or rather a news article. But I just glanced at it at first, and I was like, why would DJ comment about this movie? Why would DJ watch the trailer for this movie? He doesn't
DJ leave a comment.
He doesn't care, and he doesn't leave comments on things like that most of the time, I don't think. And then Austin came back. I was like, Austin, I'm baffled by this. And he goes, "Yeah, it wasn't actually DJ. It was some guy named DJ." I'm like, how am I supposed to know that?
That's amazing.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I gotta look that up now. There's an imposter out there.
Yeah, so DJ, what are your thoughts on the Joker 2 trailer? Teaser.
Wow, there's a Joker 2 trailer out? That's my thoughts.
This sure ain't it, fellas.
The first time hearing of this, fellas.
So what we knew about this movie up to now is it's Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn. It's still Arthur Fleck, it's still that world, and it's supposed to be a musical, which was the big thing that kind of surprised everybody. That was really the shocker. For months, we've been wondering what exactly that's going to look like, and now we kind of got to wait a little bit longer. The teaser didn't really give us a sense of what exactly it means that it's a musical. We had gotten word a week or two ago that it's not original music, but a jukebox musical, which kind of surprised me, honestly. I guess I didn't really know what to expect, but there's not like a lot of pop culture stuff in that first movie. Like, it feels... It's set in a specific year, like it's early 80s. It's got a very late 70s sort of vibe, but it feels like a universe like slightly removed from ours. So like the talk shows are different, the movies are different, and it kind of didn't feel like a thing that would really go to a lot of pop culture places. And then now we're gonna have all this music that you're familiar with, like it seems like probably a lot of kind of classic rock songs, or maybe it'll go. It's hard to say where exactly they'll go. I don't expect a lot of deep cuts. I think it'll be a lot of like really popular things that most of us know. Possibly some musical theater. Like, who knows? But when I first heard that, I was immediately really iffy on that. I was like, I don't know if I want to watch like Joker and Harley Quinn, the whole movie breaking into songs I've heard of, where the whole thing is like Moulin Rouge, but with the Joker. Like, what are you doing? And so I was really anticipating this teaser to get a sense of what in the world it was even going to be. And I said months ago when we found out that it was supposed to be a musical that the first trailer they put out was going to make or break the success of this. Like, figuring out, learning what the tone of the piece is going to be, what the style of music is, was going to be really important. And what we got was what the world needs now, and like the classic original rendition of that. No telling if that's indicative of the whole style of the movie, if it's jukebox musical, because I think that term, DJ, means a couple of things. Like, when I used to think jukebox musical was always just the actual tracks of like classic songs that you're familiar with, but I think it can be that, but like real stylized, and everything's like built around that, and people are dancing to that music and stuff. And then it's also, and I think more often, new renditions of those songs and everybody singing them, like the TV show Glee, and that kind of thing.
Yeah, the Mamma Mia movies.
Okay, I didn't even know that's what those were.
Yeah, they're all ABBA songs.
Okay. I think we're gonna see actual performances, especially because it's Lady Gaga. Of course she's gonna sing from those two characters, but I think it's likely to actually be a mix of both. Like, I don't know if that was just a trailer song or if that's actually a song you'll hear in the movie that scores it real hard and that those characters are like doing things to. I gotta tell you, not hearing them sing and not knowing exactly what the style of it is, I can't say I'm fully won over yet, but I'm not like turned off to it yet. The whole thing looks a lot more indicative of the first film than I thought it would, possibly to a fault. Like, it's possible that it's gonna look really gimmicky, where what we have is basically the same movie as the first time around, except now he's got a sidekick. Now he's got a person that he's in love with that can help spur him on to do more mad, crazy, dangerous things. And the first movie thematically is all about laughter, and this movie thematically is all about music. I like that music seems to be not just like a random choice, but the movie is about that. And the first movie was also about performance. And so it doesn't seem like a giant leap once I realized that it has something to do with character and motivation. So I'm not, I'm not super turned off to it yet, but it does look like it could be a real obligatory kind of standard sequel, which is not what I thought I would be saying. Because when you hear musical, it seemed like it was going to be this real off the beaten path. Well, we're only going to do it if we can blow everyone's minds and be really experimental and do something that's never been done before. I don't know that's what this is going to be exactly. My thinking is they're taking cues from Rocket Man, where it'll be a jukebox musical. It'll be again songs you've heard before. Our two main characters will break into song, but it will be just in their imaginations and like a shared imagination. The title is my French is terrible. How is it pronounced? Is it Folie? So it's like shared madness, and so my guess is music is a big thing that ties them together, and we'll get into their heads as a almost like shared duo consciousness through music. I think it could work. Visually, the style of it is very much like the first one. Again, possibly to a fault. The big image I was expecting walking in, looking at that trailer was, okay, they're gonna have a bit where, and I think I might have even said this on a Captain Logan show, and don't give me too much credit for this because it's obvious, and there's a part of me that I can't even believe that they did it because it's so obvious. I was like, you know what we're gonna have? We're gonna have Joker and Harley Quinn both going down that staircase together. I made it the thumbnail. Yep, that's what they did. Of course they did that. They're coming down the staircase together. if I have any reservation or immediate disappointment, and hopefully the movie wins me over on it, and I'm not like a giant fan of that first movie, but I liked it fine. Maybe a little bit less after I finally watched King of Comedy. Like, people always complain about how that first movie is like a ripoff of that and Taxi Driver, like a couple of big stylistic gritty 70s movies. And there's this constant raging debate with fans and between fans and detractors of that movie of whether it's homaging those things or doing the same style or like a similar style, or if it's just blatantly ripping off story points like way too much. I'm somewhere in between on it. Like, it's definitely about different things, and it tells its own story, but it is still a little bit too derivative, at least of King of Comedy, for my taste. Taxi Driver, I've still never actually watched all of, so maybe that'll hurt it even more when I finally sit down and finish that movie. I started it at one point, DJ, and for whatever reason, I got distracted and I never finished it.
Yeah, I really want to see, King of Comedy. I really, really, really liked After Hours last year, which is Scorsese's film around that time. It was 80s, and I've heard that King of Comedy is the best place to go if you like After Hours, because it's another comedy.
I thought it was brilliant. I love that movie.
That's up there on my list. I got to get a copy. It doesn't have a good physical copy. I do have Mean Streets though. I got to watch that too. But yeah, I don't know. This is cool. I mean, this is probably the most I've been interested to watch the first one, is because I might want to watch the second one. So
yeah, sure.
So I'll probably watch the first one before that one comes out, and then we might see the second one in theaters.
Sure,
that should be fun.
Or you'll see the first one and go, yeah, never mind. This ain't it, fellas.
That's what I'll say. That'll be my review. But yeah, I just personally want a direct adaptation of the scene from The Batman where Harley Quinn and Joker just run around the city and sing "Setting the Woods on Fire." That is the best scene ever. And that would be so good. If you guys know what I'm talking about, look it up, because it's the best. It's the best. I love The Batman.
What I started to say earlier, I'm glad I remembered that I was in the middle of a thought. Oops, I interrupted myself, DJ. If I'm immediately disappointed with anything, and like I said, hopefully it'll win me over on this, I really thought, and I haven't seen Joker since the theater. Like I said, I liked it fine. I have not felt the need to go back to it. I'm more and more curious to return to it and see how I feel about it now after I saw King of Comedy. Maybe I'll watch Taxi Driver first and then watch it again. But I got to the end of, just on a first viewing of that movie in the theater, and I thought there was like a full-on kind of personality shift with that character, like kind of identity shift. He is so confident in himself now because he's brought a bunch of people who aren't happy with the status quo and the 1% and whatever together through the horrible thing he does at the end of the movie, and then. And it seems like he has embraced this idea of the Joker, almost like a fake it till you make it thing, where now he is the Joker, like full on. And then you get into this, and it feels like it's a mask he's wearing in a way I really wasn't expecting. Where like, oh, now he's back to just being Arthur Fleck again, and like maybe he's more sure of himself and more comedic. I kind of thought that we'd never see Arthur Fleck again, that we never like hear his voice, that he'd never be out of makeup except for when he just absolutely had to be. I was kind of surprised to see him in scenes in the trailer, like outside of the mental institution without the makeup. I don't know what to make of that yet. I was kind of surprised by that. I mean, having said that, Joker is not a movie that I and probably a lot of people needed a sequel to. It would have been kind of nice if that had stayed in a vacuum. So I really hope that this movie, like earns its keep, as it were, like really justifies its existence. Because this did not have to be a franchise. There's a part of me that's kind of surprised that Phoenix even agreed to do it, but and it was one of those things where everybody involved were like, well, we have a script, we have a really good idea, and so everybody's coming back and being on board, which makes you hope that the movie is great. Last thing I'll say is besides Arkham Hotel, how many different sorts of businesses does Arkham own in this universe? He's got an asylum and a hotel. Or does he just have a hotel? Is Fleck not in Arkham Asylum? I can't even remember if there is an Arkham at the end of that movie. Is it like, well, we've got to have an Arkham reference somewhere. So in this universe, it's a hotel. I don't know. That was a cool shot. I don't know what that was about. A lot of really pretty shots. Like just like with the first movie, the cinematography is on point. This seems to be anyway. The last thing I'll mention about that is, I guess I had more to say about this than I thought I would. The last thing I want to mention about that is I'm sure people will be disappointed that Harley Quinn is just a mental patient and not the Joker psychiatrist in this, or that's certainly how it looks in the trailer, that they're in an asylum together. That's another thing I kind of called. They completely reinvented the Joker, and of course, like in the first movie, and of course the Joker classically doesn't have, has an ambiguous background, so you could, if you were going to give him a real origin, you could do anything you wanted to with it. But then the Joker that you have at the end of that movie is not the criminal mastermind that he is in the comics or any other iteration, where people always complain with their Arthur Fleck Joker, how could that guy even take on Batman? He's not a genius. He doesn't seem to be a master manipulator. He's not a mastermind. And I fully expected them to completely reinvent Harley Quinn in this the same way they did the Joker, and that does indeed seem to be what they're doing. Now, it's possible she'll have a background in psychology, but the place we're starting with her is she's also in the institution along with him. So I'm not against that at all. I'm just saying that I'm not at all surprised that that's what they're doing with it. And we have, for better or worse, had a Harley Quinn now that was ostensibly off the page, but not really, or at least not the not the version I like.
She was off of a page.
Yeah. So now we're in a place. We've been doing this for so long now, DJ. We're going to have two completely different live action on screen, like a big movie Harley Quinns, and that's. And that's not counting anything television has done.
And she's been in 3 films already. This will be 4.
That's true. Yeah, I was sitting here trying to count that. Yeah, because I guess the Margot Robbie version's done 3 movies now, which, if you think of it as a trilogy, is the weirdest trilogy of all time.
The Harley Quinn trilogy. I'm surprised there's not some crappy Walmart release in DVD packaging. That's the Harley
Quinn 3 favorites collection.
Exactly.
You get Suicide Squad, like, and then you get
dark cover or something.
Birds of Prey with Harley Quinn's name in it, and then it bookends with The Suicide Squad, and they're all like completely different visions, like constantly kind of reinventing it again because the last thing didn't really work. And you have to get all the way to that third one before you have a good one. At least with the Wolverine, where they don't all feel like they're exactly in the same, in the Wolverine trilogy, where they don't feel like they're all, I can't even call that a trilogy, but there are 3 movies with Wolverine's name in them. Now there's about to be a 4th one this year, so I can't even say that anymore. You've got, at least 2, in my mind, at least halfway decent ones. Whereas you have to get to The Suicide Squad before you even have a decent movie with Harley Quinn in it. And Origins is the worst thing ever until Birds of Prey comes along.
Yeah, that's weird. Well, and it's funny that they're both like the most popular characters in Marvel and DC respectively. That, of course, that would happen to both of those characters.
Speaking of, because now I'm just snowballing back into superhero in the bizarreness of recent superhero movie history. Speaking of that, tomorrow night,
this was a total accident, actually.
Oh man, that's no accident. That cup lives on your desk in case you need it for this show. We all know that. Tomorrow night, Austin and I are going to finally do the last episode of our long superhero movie history series. our podcast series. It'll be episode 12, and we're going to do it as an extra long show. So the first hour will be recent superhero movie history, and the second hour will be predictions about the future of superhero movies. And stick around if you come to that show, because at the end, we're going to announce our next multi-part series for Superhero Rewind Unscripted, and it's exciting, and it's requiring homework, and Austin has already started on his, and I have been, I have really dropped the ball on it. I have not begun mine yet, but we're gonna hopefully do the first episode of that sometime in the next 2 or 3 weeks, and we will announce that series tomorrow.
That sounds pretty sweet. I'm excited. I've been listening to it. I don't know if I've listened to every one of those, but I've been enjoying listening to those. Those are fun.
Thanks, man. Do you like the parts where Austin and I waste 10 minutes arguing about movies that he hates and I like?
Oh, those are my favorite parts.
Do you like that part?
That's great.
That keeps happening.
Yeah, I just talked about superhero movies. Well, I haven't put it on the channel yet, but I just recorded a long video going over my entire superhero movie collection. So that's a pain in the butt to edit right now, but I am working on editing that.
That's why I just didn't edit it when I did it.
So many movies.
Yours at least won't be 6 hours.
No, it was like 2 hours of recording time, but editing it down, I hope it's going to be around an hour, hopefully, but we'll see.
Good luck.
All right, well, we got one super chat last week that he put in right under the wire, right? Right after we closed up shop.
Let's go and do that. And then I also have a couple other small news items that I want to sprinkle in somewhere during the show. No, but we can answer a couple of questions before I get to those. Okay. These will be quick mini things, hopefully, ostensibly. Go ahead.
All right, Super Billy. Sneaky Super Billy with that $5 at the end of the show. Thoughts on rumor that the villain of Gunn Superman will be Ultraman? Reminds me of an idea I proposed during our producers' Discord discussion.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Thanks for the super chat last week, and I meant to bring that up during that show, and it just never came up. We had a different lead-in topic, but anyway, Yeah, I don't know, honestly, how exactly I feel about that. It's a thing that if Gunn is actually doing what's been rumored, I could see it working. It's maybe not exactly what I want, but I'm also not, I also don't care that much about Ultraman as a character, and I guess I don't care enough about Bizarro, if that's the angle for Bizarro he's going, to be, like, immediately irritated, but I also would love to see Gunn do a full-on crazy, like, Silver or Golden Age Bizarro. I also think both things are possible. So what is rumored, I've now given you my feelings, and now I'll explain what the hell I'm talking about. So the rumor is he's going to, Lex Luthor is trying to clone Superman, which he does in, like, nearly every iteration of Superman. And so, of course, we're starting right away with that. Also, I don't know how I feel about doing another kind of evil Superman right away, but
yeah, we do that in every superhero movie ever.
Yeah.
Every superhero movie fights a dark version of themselves.
But well, yeah, you're right. Not just Superman, just superheroes now.
Everything. Iron Man, Venom. Venom's done it twice.
Well, don't worry, because
Iron Man's done it like 3 times.
Because I guarantee you, his last dance will be with yet another Venom. I guarantee it. Have we talked about that? The goofy title they went with for their last movie? It's called The Last Dance.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Of course it is.
Venom, The Last Dance.
At least they didn't go with Let There Be a Last Dance.
At least they didn't say, like, Prelude to Venom 4 or something.
I don't believe them that it's the last one. I don't believe Sony. I don't believe them at all, as far as I can throw the whole studio.
But if you were gonna use the subtitle "Be Moved" for any franchise, Venom would be the one, right? Venom 3, Be Moved. I say 3. No, they're not using numbers, but
Be Moved, and the 3 and B is the E and B is a 3. There you go.
So anyway, the rumor is, and I think this is, like, flat out rumor territory so far. We have not yet had, DJ, the 2,000 word article explaining a single word Gunn tweet that says, "Are you doing Ultraman as a clone?" No. And then
What does it mean?
What does it mean? It means no. No means no, okay? So, so the rumor is Lex Luthor clones Superman, and it's like this hybrid concept where it's Bizarro, but instead of really being Bizarro, it's Ultraman. So it's like, it's Bizarro in that it's a clone, because that's the modern way we typically do it to get away from the goofy Bizarro world thing, is that Bizarro is a failed Superman clone. Sometimes he talks backwards, sometimes he doesn't. I think New 52 did it. I think some other things did it even before that. But I guess the reason it's being talked about as a amalgam of those two ideas is because those two characters is it's a clone, but it's Ultraman instead. So the idea is we do that instead of having Bizarro come from Bizarro World, and we also do that so that we don't have Ultraman coming from an alternate dimension, because Ultraman is an evil Superman from another dimension. I think, is it Justice Lords? Is that the group that he is the... It's just been a while. I think like it's him and Owlman, and I think it's that whole cast from Crisis on Two Earths, if memory serves. But anyway, like I said, I've never been a big Ultraman guy, or big into the Justice Lords or whatever they're called. But anyway, where I'm not sure about the interpretation of this thing, even if it is real, like now I'm having to talk about a thing that we don't, it's kind of rumor. We don't even know if this is really happening. But where I'm not sure about the assumptions being made there is if it precludes a Bizarro. Because you could have Ultraman be a clone, and then Gunn liking going to the big goofy stuff. I mean, remember Polka Dot Man. And also remember that Polka Dot Man's powers come from another universe. So he's not necessarily going to sidestep the idea of alternate dimensions just because they're not doing full-blown big multiverse stuff like Marvel is right now, I don't think. I had that thought for a second. I was like, is it a way to get completely away from multiverse? I mean, maybe, but remember, Gunn loves the crazy big comic book stuff, and he doesn't have to have a whole saga about a multiverse to bring in the concept of another dimension one time for something. So, I don't think even if Ultraman is a clone, it means that you won't ever have a Bizarro from Bizarro World. Like, I think you could also still have that. But it is kind of weird to make it Ultraman. It's like, I'm not sure why he wouldn't go off the page with either of those characters. That's all I have to say about that.
That's cool. Very well said. Well, we got another super chat.
Crime Syndicate. The hell is Justice Lords? I never remember the difference between those things. It all runs together, folks.
Let us know in the chat what Justice Lords is. You were so close.
Take away my geek card.
GJJIJJI gives us $1.99. Says, will the Superhero Rewind movie outdo Spawn Year?
Well, see, that's the kind of soundbite I don't want to make with a thing like this, right? Like, it's what people always do. It's like, that thing I made that you love, this is going to be even, like, never say that. Like, I don't want to promise that. If you keep the expectations low, you'll probably enjoy it more. No, I guess I'll be cryptic and say, like, in certain ways. Like, in certain ways, it's more ambitious than any singular part of that project was, but they're two completely different animals. I mean, like, Spawn Year was a 365 episode series that was bookended with cinematic stuff and had some cinematic things in the middle of it. This is a full-blown narrative film, of course. So in some ways it'll be harder, and in some ways it'll be easier to make. But just as far as I don't know. I'm not sure how to answer that, except to say, in some ways it's bigger, I guess. Story-wise, just like dictionary definition, in some ways it's bigger. But that's about all I can say about that. I don't even know if I can say it's crazier than Spawn Year, because Spawn Year is pretty crazy. I can say that I'm trying to make it as standalone as possible, where if you're familiar with, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's self-indulgent in the ways that it has to be about what I do and Superhero Rewind as a thing and as an idea in the channel and all of that. So, I mean, it's for you guys. Anybody that's never watched a video of ours will have no idea what the heck they're looking at. If they look at it, I mean, yeah, it's got a clear story structure. It's got clear motivations for characters. Like you could follow it, but I don't know that you'd care really if you're not, already familiar with the channel. But it is a direct sequel to Spawn Year. In a couple of ways, but I'm trying to make it such that you don't have to have watched much of that. I will say it's probably more of a layered experience if you watch at least the movie version of Spawn Year just to get the story points. I'll say that. And then the movie won't come out for another year and a half, and I won't remember any of what I just said.
All right. Next from Utale just came in. What if Michael Bay directed 09
Thanks,
Watchmen and Zack Snyder directed 07 Transformers? Also, what's the fine line between arrogance and confidence?
Oh,
wow. Dating advice on the Captain Logan show. Or just life advice, I guess.
I love how in just a couple of dollars super chat, you could take us to two completely different corners of the earth.
You got whiplash in that super chat.
I think that first question is easier to answer, and I really mean this. I don't know that the world is any different at all for it. I think it basically turns out exactly the same way.
It's a zero sum, yeah.
Yeah, like I think if Snyder directed Transformers,
I know I actually would probably like Watchmen a lot less if it was a Michael Bay movie.
Yeah, probably so, but that movie didn't perform great in the first place, so it wouldn't really affect things too much. Like, that wasn't a franchise, it wasn't, like, highly influential with other superhero movies. Like, maybe for certain directors, just Zack Snyder in general is kind of influential. And maybe it helped get the ball rolling for more like gritty anti-hero superhero movies, but like Kick-Ass was doing that too the year after that. Like, as important as Watchmen is in the comic world, I don't think Watchmen the movie is really important at all. It's so weird to say that because it was a giant release, but it didn't do big guns. It kind of just broke even.
It would have been,
I think.
It would have been all Linkin Park songs instead of carefully selected songs that Zack Snyder chose.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the more interesting question to ask is going over to Transformers, because Bay with Transformers he's got kind of a formula, and he's got like a particular style, and he's just doing the same thing kind of every time, and if for whatever reason it was working for people. If Snyder comes in, is it as long of a franchise? Like, if it's not Bay and his company? Some of this is just business and stuff, too. Where, like, Michael Bay has maybe more of... Well, I was going to say maybe more influence over those movies than Snyder would have. I guess I don't know how true that is, because Snyder was given the keys to the kingdom at the DCEU. His movies just didn't perform well enough for him to keep the keys. So I guess I don't know. My instinct says it's more likely that Snyder would have directed two, and then somebody else would have come in and directed more sequels earlier than what happened with Bay, because Bay stayed on a long time.
Bay only did the first 3.
I thought he did 4. Did he not?
I don't know. Maybe I didn't see 4. I can check though.
Yeah, I don't remember anymore. But that's a very amusing question. And then fine line between arrogance and confidence.
He did do 4. You're right.
That's one of those like $1 million questions, right? Because it kind of depends on who you ask, and it's difficult, I think, for people sometimes to show confidence depending on the audience, because it's so easy to misconstrue confidence for arrogance, right? And I think it all comes down to like where your heart is, what your motivation is, like what your intentions are, and that only becomes clear through action, not through attitude. right? So I don't know. I guess the answer to that is you're not going to know until you spend enough time with a person.
Yeah. Also, arrogance is easy to spot if you can't back anything up that you say. Whereas if you can back everything up, then you can still be arrogant if you're like really good at something. But a lot of the time, the arrogant people are the ones that have no reason to be confident anyway.
Yeah. It's like a false confidence.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's part of why I'm saying you have to spend time with a person for a while to know, because one of the things you have to find out about them is if that confidence is even justified. You know, like it's, you know, a lot of arrogance is being full of crap.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's also, I think, a more there's kindness in confidence that arrogance doesn't have, where you're just kind of trying to put others down to make yourself look better, whereas confidence...
That's why I said motivation and where your heart is matters.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you can be very confident and not put anyone down.
Yeah. It's about intent. And furthermore, very often, arrogance comes from an insecure place. So if you're really unsure of yourself, but trying to project confidence, you're more likely to come off mean-spirited. Mm-hmm. Because after all, that comes from a selfish place in the first place.
Yeah.
And confidence tends to come like naturally, especially when we're just talking about like being confident in particular situations where like you're really good at something. You don't have to you exude confidence because you just know what you're doing. It's second nature. Arrogance can also be second nature. But that's not because you're good at something. That's because you either falsely think you're the best thing ever, or again, you're overcompensating and trying too hard. Mm-hmm. Those things also are not mutually exclusive.
What a end to that question. We went straight from talking about Snyder doing Bayformers to an interesting discussion.
Well, I'm wondering if there's a projection happening there from the two directors he's talking about to the second.
Maybe.
Like
which one is the confident one?
Is one of the exactly is one of them the confident person, one of them is the arrogant person.
Maybe he describes one of their directing styles as confident and one as arrogant. All right. Well, shall we go to Patreon?
Yeah, let's go ahead and go to Patreon. We got about 20 minutes left in the show. If there's something that you really want us to talk about, make sure and leave a question, either super chat or otherwise. And after you do a Patreon question, I'll go to a couple of other news items, DJ.
All right. From Saqib, if you could reboot any game franchise, which would it be?
Like 3 or 4 immediately come to mind, so I don't know what I would put over others. And I'm sure I'm going to leave out something big where I'm going to get off tonight and be like, oh yeah, I should have said that. I will say, so I'm a big retro game guy, and so all my answers will be 20, 30-year-old franchises. For a long time it would have been Crazy Taxi, and that's happening now finally. Sega is coming back and resurrecting a number of their old franchises. So luckily, I'm gonna get that now, which is really exciting. Among other things, and Virtua Fighter is gonna come back with a new game again. We did get that whatever they called it, that Ultimate Edition of 6 a few years ago, but they're gonna apparently do a flat out ground up new game, which is exciting for me. No one else will care, but I'm a big Virtua Fighter guy. Anyway.
Is it going to be like Crazy Taxi Home Circuit, where you're driving a taxi around your basement?
Oh my God, I want that so bad. That's one of those things that I wish you hadn't said out loud, because now I'm gonna yearn for that forever. And they should make it like Crazy Taxi 2, where the car can jump.
Yeah, it gives you ramps
in your house. No, you press a button and there's a thing in the back that just like pops out, and then the car jumps up. Great.
Oh yeah, it's like one of those RC cars that can like do flips and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be nuts.
Crazy Taxi 2 does that. You press a button and you can just jump really high. It's not even like the Mario Kart jumps where it's a lot of it's like you can get up onto overpasses. It's amazing. Probably the big one is Star Fox.
Oh.
There is just no good reason that you couldn't have a whole series and going all the way back. Like, it sucks this never happened. We tried some different things off the beaten path with that, like Star Fox Adventures and stuff on the GameCube. There's no reason we at this day and time shouldn't have like 7 or 8 like classic 3D style like 64 Star Fox games that should have kept going just like Mario Kart did. It sucks that didn't happen. I would like a new Wave Race. Staying on the racing game track for a second. And like, I'm not even a giant racing game guy, but I have the few of it that I still love and kind of obsessed with. And then getting away from that, I would like to see House of the Dead come back with new home stuff and like maybe exclusively home stuff. I'd like to see a 3D like first-person shooter version of Zombies Ate My Neighbors. That game kind of came back into popularity recently when we did a release on the Switch, and that's the worst port of that game, but it was nice to see it come back and people buy it and stuff. But yeah, I've always wanted to see something modern done with Zombies Ate My Neighbors. I'm sure I would be terrible at it, but I would love to see that happen. And finally, I'm gonna say Bubsy, because I want to see somebody finally actually make a really decent Bubsy game, because it's just never happened.
That would be amazing.
And I'm still nostalgic for that because I liked it when I was a kid. It doesn't hold up now, and everything anybody's ever said against Bubsy is correct. But I still occasionally throw that cartridge back in. I can't help myself. It's just a nostalgic thing from when I was a kid. So I'd like to see a good Bubsy game be made. And it's sad because the guy that created that game died a couple years ago. And he made a couple of new Bubsy games before he passed, and they suck. They feel like not to speak ill of the dead, but sorry, they suck. They felt like they felt like web-based games. They were just really generic and repetitive, and I can't believe I paid $30 for them. But I just wanted to know.
Wow.
I can't believe I bought that second one. I don't know why I did that.
You never learned your lesson.
I really didn't.
We need a modern Primal Rage is what we need. You brought that up on the Godzilla.
Yeah, because the new Godzilla Kong movie
and none of those guys.
It's just a Primal Rage adaptation.
None of those guys responded appropriately to that joke, and I was in the comments like, "Yes, Primal Rage." There was an awesome Godzilla game on like GameCube.
Hell, it's a better Rampage movie than the Rampage movie.
That's true.
But it is more Primal Rage than Rampage.
That's true. That's true, because they're just fighting. They're not trying to destroy buildings and then turning back into human beings and being naked. But yeah, there was an awesome Godzilla game on the GameCube that I played a bunch. It had like all the characters. Why don't we have that? That's just like a perfect game. We need an update of that. It'd be so fun.
Yeah.
I didn't know any of the characters. I was just big turtle man or big bird guy. Like I don't know any of the Godzilla characters. But it was a fun game. It was a fun fighting game.
Yeah, I don't need Primal Rage to come back because I don't need like fart moves.
You don't like the handstand fart in the face?
No, I'm good. I don't need that.
Oh, what a game. What a game.
I
never
would like
played the arcade. Oh, actually, I recently just did play the arcade because it was at that arcade that I took you to when you were here. But I had it on Super Nintendo growing up.
As far as more modern stuff goes, I can't say reboot exactly. I wish we would do one more Injustice. It is kind of sad to me that they're full on rebooting Mortal Kombat, and it looks like Injustice is going to get dropped like a bad habit. And that makes me sad because I grinded that second game like crazy.
We could get we should reboot Marvel vs. Capcom because that third one wasn't great.
I like it fine, but I mean, I just feel like we've kind of been there and done that now. Like,
they just need to add more characters and get rid of the Capcom characters.
Well, yeah. So what you really want is a
I want Marvel
no.
Comics.
I'm with you. I'm with you on this. What you really want is a return to Marvel superheroes, but it has a roster of 120 Marvel characters. That's what you really. That's what you really want. Yeah, that's fair. I take that. That's your reboot right there.
How like I don't understand how Marvel was like king of the world in movies for 2 decades and no video games. Like what?
And same thing with animated features too. You had DC since 07 putting out all those direct-to-video movies, and Marvel got like 4 or 5. Same thing.
They can only do one thing. They can't multitask.
They're like me. They're incapable of multitasking. No one who works, no producer that works for the MCU has more than one child. They can't multitask. They have one kid.
Well, I hope that's not the case because you got 5. So hopefully you can multitask.
No, I'm pretty bad at
it. Then you have to take them in shifts.
All I'll say is it's a good thing that like some of my kids are a little older now, because like I can't do everything myself. It's not possible.
Yeah, you got them spaced out. That was smart.
Yeah.
We got 2 more super chats here. Mutale.
Thanks, guys. What's up? Oh, you know what? I've been forgetting the gong. Oh, so that's for all those super chats.
Catch us up.
It sounds like dinner is ready, but in fact,
gong. You should use that to tell your kids that dinner is ready, because that would be amazing.
I should, but if I take it upstairs, I'm gonna lose it.
I'm gonna lose it, Cap. If you become
I don't mean like that. I mean like Selena or Cassandra will steal it and I'll never see it again.
I just see you banging the gong. Get down here for dinner right now. I'm gonna lose it. Banging a comedic gong the whole time.
Dad, you'd be a little bit more intimidating if not for the gong.
You're really undercutting your authority there with that goofy gong. Cap.
Oh, Adam March. Cap has 6 children. Did you say I had 5 kids?
Oh, did I? Oh,
I think you did. I have 6 kids.
I can't even.
When you and I were talking before the show, I said something about like having to do it 5 times. 2 of them are twins.
That's right.
But I have 5. I have 6 children, but 2 of them came at the same time.
That's right. Yeah, you threw me off with the 5 births. Cap, if you became a superhero, would you be one who kills his enemies or sends them to jail? Also, better Green Goblin voice, TAS, or Spectacular, or Defoe?
Defoe. I have to go with Defoe by default.
I would have to concur. I don't even remember what he sounds like in Spectacular. I think he's just like a good actor in Spectacular. But TAS is nightmare fuel. He's so high pitched. Like, yeah. It's.
But he's not even talking about TAS. He's talking about Defoe.
Well, he said TAS, Spectacular, or Defoe.
Oh, I missed the TAS part. I thought he was just talking. I thought you just wanted to compare Spectacular to Defoe. Yeah, I don't really remember what Spectacular sounds like. Like I've got the Norman Osborn voice kind of in my head, and it's a really good Osborn voice. I don't know what he sounds like when he's got the mask on. I don't remember that.
Yeah, I don't remember. But the one in the 90s, like I just remember that 90s episode where like he snaps out of it and they're like underwater in like an underwater base or something, and like the Statue of Liberty falls up and he's like, ah! Like he just like screams. It's terrifying.
It's fantastic.
He's so
loud. It's kind of nice that Hobgoblin came first, because somehow whoever voiced Green Goblin was scarier than Hamill. Like, think about it. That voice, it sticks with you. It gives you nightmares. But, I mean, I still got to give it to Defoe. Just because of all the one-liners.
Defoe's amazing.
It would have been cool if Defoe had come in and voiced it in something. Like, if you had Green Goblin in MTV Spider-Man, because that was trying to do movie stuff. It would have been really cool if they could have gotten him.
Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't have happened, but it would have been really cool.
Yeah, if only Defoe had ever come back and reprised his role as that character again. That might have been cool.
My worry would be this many years later, he'd be kind of confused and look like he was sleepwalking through it. But
yeah, he might. That's the worry. But I'm sure they could give him a couple of his old lines, and that would just wake him right up.
Sure, yeah. I want to thank all the subscribers that just left and are never coming back. What was the second part of that question?
Well, that was the second part. The first part was if
I
you
always do
became a
that.
superhero, would you kill your enemies or send them to jail?
So if I was a superhero, you know what I would do? I would put on my outfit, and it would be all about just like I'd be like Deflator Mouse the Tick, right? Like it'd be all about the image and just the like the nostalgia for superheroes. Like, oh, look at me, like I'm being a superhero, and it would be about the atmosphere, and I would just like stand on roofs and like look dramatic. And then when I saw crimes, I would just call the police.
Like that guy,
That's
like
what I
that.
would do.
What was that guy? Like Black Eagle or Golden? What
I
was
don't remember anymore. I still never saw that documentary.
yeah. Well, there was a documentary first that was like, well, yeah, I guess he was like the
He's
main guy in
in it.
that.
There were like four
But
or
there was a
five
bunch
of
of
them.
other, yeah, there was a few of them.
And I've seen YouTube videos about some of those guys, but I never actually watched that movie. I should.
Yeah.
We should do it on the Rewind commentary show.
That'd be a fun blind commentary. Although it'd be hard to watch it. I don't know. Documentary might not be a good blind commentary.
No, I don't know if I want to point and laugh at real people as I'm going
I think
along.
that's the point of the documentary, though.
Well, no, it is.
Would you now? Okay, so if you're a real life superhero, we've got the templates here of Kick-Ass, Defendor, and Super. So would you go around beating people in the head with a wrench, using marbles and bees, or would you try to order a jetpack?
No, I would make sure no one ever saw me. I would just hide behind things and call the cops because the big thing that all three of those movies have in common is that the superhero gets his ass kicked and bleeds everywhere. I don't want to be bleed everywhere, man.
So you would just grab your wrench and put on your bright red suit in the middle of the daytime and walk up to the movie theater line because someone cut in front of you and hit him in the head with your wrench?
No, I mean you're giving me you're only giving me one option because you're a horrible person. But I'm only seeing two options. You can either call the police and just be like an informant, and like not give your name and just be, whatever you call it. I can't think of the term I'm looking for right now.
Anonymous?
Yeah. You just be an anonymous. Yeah, you give them an anonymous tip. That's what I was looking for. You either do that, or you get your ass handed to you, and then the same police show up and throw you in jail. Those are your options.
That's true.
That's all you've got.
Unless you get away with it, Defender lives on.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that you have to be good at it. Like, you have to be the Punisher to get away with any of that. And, I didn't have, like, SEAL training or whatever.
There's also one called Special that I sent you in the mail a million years ago. Have you ever watched that yet?
No, I've still never watched that. I need to do that.
It's the same kind of thing. It's
I'm sorry,
like
DJ.
Griff the Invisible. It's a really good performance by that guy.
I haven't seen that either, and you also sent me that.
I did send you that. That's right.
You know what joke I can't make anymore?
No.
And it makes me feel kind of old. And I've got this sort of laundry list of things that I kind of wish I could get done before August, but like I'm trying to make a movie and we're reviewing things and stuff. Like there's no way I would get to everything. But I, here in a few months, will no longer be able to say, we're going to be in our 40s before.
Oh, no, that's right.
So, like, I turned 40 in
up.
August, and I can't say now, well, God, DJ, I'm sorry I never watched Griff the Invisible. I'm going to be in my 40s before. Yeah, I am, though. I'd have to watch it within the next 4 months.
Yeah, for people who don't know what I'm talking about, Cap used to have a P.O. box like a bazillion years ago. This was before, this was early, like before I joined the superhero Rewind United Club, like before everything. I just sent him a box of 5 movies, and it was special.
So we're talking like probably 8 or 9 years before I actually, or at least 6 or 7 years before I met DJ at all, right?
Yeah.
We're talking 11 or 12.
I was just a humble little young kid at college on YouTube. And I can't remember. I sent you Griff the Invisible. I know I sent you Underdog. I sent you Special. And I sent you Zoom. Have you ever watched that yet?
No, I still haven't seen that either. And I've had it on.
I remember what the fifth one was. It was another like crappy
at
one.
different points. I've had that on like my short list for rewind, and then I remember that everybody says that's the worst thing ever, and I never got to it. I watched some really bad things, but I never got to that.
For some reason, I guess my parents just really liked Tim Allen. We were a big Tim Allen family. Like we would watch the Santa Claus movies every year, and we watched Christmas with the Cranks every year, and so we watched Zoom quite a bit. It's like a cool premise. It's just like so cheap and like really low budget.
DJ,
not directed well.
We're at an hour.
Yeah.
So we'll go ahead and finish up here real quick. I had a couple of news items I wanted to hit real quick, and I could save them for next week, but I think more stuff is liable to come out. So let me just hit them very, very briefly. And I mean it. I'll do this very briefly. The first thing, one of these could have been a lead-in topic. I'll do it in under a couple minutes. If I don't, then I won't have a co-host next week, I'm sure. Screen Rant. Kevin Feige comments on Marvel adding an asterisk to the Thunderbolts movie title. Have you heard about this, DJ?
No, I have not. I didn't even know there was a Joker 2 commercial. How to hear about this?
This is the most pretentious sounding thing I've ever seen. So when and I know I'm a broken record with this, but Marvel is taking the weirdest friggin' risks right now with how much consumer confidence they've lost, how much people are not as excited about their stuff. It looks like they could be in real trouble with their line. And what do? They take a movie that already nobody really cares about with a bunch of second string villains that are going to be used as heroes, and it's called not Thunderbolts, but Thunderbolts with an asterisk. That's the title. It's got an asterisk. You're just begging for everybody to make fun of you more than they already have been doing lately. After things like She-Hulk, after things like Quantum Mania. What are you doing? This is a later choice. Maybe this is the thing that they've been talking about doing for a long time. They approved this, and this didn't leak. They approved this, made it public, announced it, I think, at a convention. Approved it after all the massive failures they've had lately. And Kevin Feige goes, yes, you'll notice the asterisk on Thunderbolts. That is the official title of Thunderbolts, and we won't talk more about that until after the movie comes out.
I'm sure it's gonna be like a running joke in the movie or something. That's really weird.
It sounds like the kind of thing you do with your pretentious student film. Austin's theory is you get to the end of the movie and there's a big reveal that it's not really Thunderbolts, it's like Dark Avengers or something. So like there's an asterisk in the title, and then they're gonna reveal what the actual premise is or title or whatever, like by the end of the movie. It'll be something like that.
I just need some like fantastic reveal at the end where it's someone actually brings up the asterisk and it's like an awkward scene like in Fan Four Stick. That would be amazing.
Yeah, I can't decide what because it screams two potentially conflicting things to me. One is we're pretentious. We have this brilliant idea. We're gonna do something nobody's ever done before. We're gonna put an asterisk at the end of a title. The other thing it screams maybe though is desperation. Like, nobody cares about this. We have to do something weird so people will go see it. We'll put an asterisk on it, and then everybody will go see the movie because they have to find out what the asterisk is about. What if all the trailers are just about the asterisks? What if they put out a trailer that's an asterisk? It's moving at you. And they're like, see Thunderbolts.
No, it's like one of those...
And you'll know why.
It's like one of those DVD like screensavers where the asterisk is just bouncing around a screen. Like that this color.
Yeah, and that's the trailer.
Yeah.
And then it just goes Thunderbolts, asterisk. 2020 whatever. 2025 or whatever.
We should be on the marketing team.
Yeah, absolutely. That's so smart. And then it'll just be in vogue where everybody will go back to screensavers and they'll have asterisks that bounce around their computer screens.
They're bringing it back.
I just... That is the most baffling title choice since Dawn of Justice. It really is.
How do they out DC?
Well, you just put a random asterisk.
What punctuation have I never seen? Oh, there we go.
You know what? Okay, you say that, but now I wish there was a question mark at the end.
We've done that, though.
Thunderbolts? and then just keep going with it. Put brackets around the question mark.
Well, put it's like a comic book. Why has no comic book movie done that? I'm sure James Gunn will do that eventually.
The question mark with 4 exclamation points after it?
Or it's like a percent sign and a hashtag and like all of the like it's a swear word in comics where you put all the symbols.
You know what? Actually, I will legitimately say that's what Deadpool 4 should have been. It should have been like effing Deadpool, and it's just all in symbols. That would have been great, actually.
Yeah, I'm surprised no one's done that.
No, they should have done that. I like that. Okay, we got another super chat. Let me mention the last thing real quickly.
Yeah, we got 3 from Teddy.
Oh, thanks, Teddy. I appreciate you, buddy. Hollywood Reporter. This just came out today. Live-action R-rated Ninja Turtles movie in the works from producer Walter Hamada, and it's gonna be based on Last Ronin. So they are just going hog wild with Last Ronin right now. We had an announcement last year for a video game based on that. I don't know that I need both. You're gonna be able to play all the way through Last Ronin, and you're gonna have a live-action movie, and you can't tell me if that movie's not wildly successful, or at least like for Ninja Turtles, if it doesn't do a lot more money than Mutant Mayhem did, because that didn't do great for them. It was reviewed well, but I don't think it did big box office dollars. It certainly didn't move merchandise. I'm still seeing that stuff everywhere. Nobody bought that. If Last Ronin does a lot better than that movie, you can't tell me that doesn't turn into a franchise. And the IDW comics are already doing sequels and prequels to it. So, that's become an institution in and of itself, and now it's becoming that way with extra media. I think Last Ronin, just like a lot of those other Old Man Whoever kind of stories that, live in a bubble, I think Last Ronin is a good idea for a standalone, never touch it again, kind of like Joker should have been, hour and a half, 2-hour movie. I also kind of wish we could maybe get another good live action, more classic Turtles thing, since we only have one good one. But if I thought they would put out just a standalone Last Ronin thing and then get people interested in Turtles again and then come back and do a classic thing, I'd be all for it. What I'm worried about is that this becomes Ninja Turtles now.
Like Spider-Verse. It's just
yeah, that's a great point. That's what I don't want from it, DJ. Because what the comics are doing, and it would give them an excuse to sort of soft reboot it and do a new team of Ninja Turtles. That's what I don't want.
Ooh.
Because the end of Last Ronin, I'm going to spoil this for folks, but the end of the book is April's daughter.
Oh, man.
Has
hamsters.
No. She has 4 new turtles that are
turtles
in a cage, and clearly they're going to get mutated and become the new Ninja Turtles. The sequel, which I've not read, is all about them, and they have Japanese names, and they're brothers and sisters. There's 2 boys and 2 girls. And my worry is it gives them an excuse to flat out soft reboot and do a new series of Turtles. And even if it's great, there's all kinds of really cool classic Turtle stuff to adapt for the masses that we've only done in comics and cartoon shows. And I'd kind of rather do some of that than this, personally. But if that does really well, I think that's absolutely what they'll do. I don't think Austin and I talked about this earlier, and he didn't know about the sequels, but his assumption was they won't kill off the Last Ronin character in that, and then they'll keep making movies, kind of like a John Wick or something. I don't think that's what they'll do. I think they'll absolutely kill him and then let the new Turtles move on, and have a new cast. I can't get excited about that.
Yeah, I'm not too excited about it either. I've only heard you talk about it. It's very negatively, so maybe, but I don't think I would like that either. I just
Well,
don't
no,
like.
no, no. I like Last Ronin a lot. I'm not negative on it. I
know, just the concept. I don't.
Oh, sure,
I don't
sure,
like
sure.
the idea that it's just like anything, any author or children's book author. Like they write a book, it gets super big, and then they just keep writing that book
It'd go on and on
over
and
and
on.
over and over and over, and just like the same thing. Oh, and now we're giving a moose a muffin, and now we're giving a pig a pancake, and like.
I just didn't need Last Ronin to be a new universe of turtle stuff. I also didn't love the way it got popular. I'm the only person that ever talks about this, but I feel like at least part of, and don't get me wrong, it's good, and it's another good version of your Old Man Logan or your Batman, like Dark Knight Returns or whatever. Like it fits, it has its place in the pantheon of those. Fine, but part of the reason it got as huge as it did was because IDW was kind of misleading in its advertising about how involved Eastman and Laird together were. They didn't write it or draw it together, and they heralded it as the return of that team finally to comics. It's not what it is. The two of them apparently had the concept together. I'm not sure how that works. I don't know how far back that goes. Laird let his name get put on it. He doesn't really have anything to do with that book except concept. And I didn't love that. I've always wondered if if there's an alternate universe where they don't put Eastman and Laird's names both on that book and it doesn't do the numbers it did. I don't know. Maybe it still does. But like Tom Waltz wrote that. And Eastman co-plotted it, and I think I'm hesitating. Did he partly draw it? It's just been a while, I can't remember. So like Eastman worked directly on it. But anyway, just the way that got popular also kind of bugged me a little bit. Don't get me wrong, it's good. I just don't need it to be Ninja Turtles now. At the same time, at least in comics, we're getting back to brass tacks again with what, and I haven't. I think it started to come out, and I haven't looked at it yet. I'm not sure, but Jason Aaron is rebooting or is relaunching, and it's the Waltz IDW continuity. So at least we're not losing that continuity, and that's good. And Last Ronin, for people that don't know, is not in that same continuity. It's kind of its own thing that is basically a sequel to the Mirage stuff, but I don't know if it's technically Mirage canon. Anyway, that's my 2 cents on that.
All right, shall we knock out Teddy's 3 super chats?
Oh yeah, and O.J. Simpson died. That happened today.
We didn't dedicate the show to OJ for
obvious reasons. For maybe obvious reasons, yeah.
I didn't make a thumbnail like I did with Joel Schumacher or Black Panther.
No, and I've been fascinated by O.J. Simpson for a long time, but not because I admire the man.
He's not your role model.
He's not my role model. Yeah, I don't think, we don't have to be any more disrespectful than a person deserves, but I don't think we have to suddenly act like we like O.J. Simpson because he's passed. Condolences to the family and such, but I did see it's O.J. Simpson. Is it okay? Is it okay if I make a joke, if I read a joke? Because I'm going to. Somebody on Twitter left this comment when the news came out that O.J. Simpson passed. Draw Play Dave, he says, O.J. left behind a complicated legacy. Has any one man been so responsible for ruining the reputation of a single model of car than O.J. did for the Ford Bronco? It's true.
Wow.
It's also kind of crazy that O.J. Simpson dies this year, and the one line that we've heard so far from Beetlejuice in the Beetlejuice 2 teaser is "the juice is loose." I just want to throw that out there.
It's all a conspiracy. Cap said it here first.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Okay, DJ, I'm sorry that we have not ended the show yet. Let's knock out Teddy Super Chats.
All right, he has 3. $9.99. Everyone else. Wow, the Joker being a musical is so dumb. Not watching. Me. I wasn't gonna watch, but the musical thing intrigues. It's a choice.
Yeah, right.
So crazy it might just work. Yeah, that's me too.
No, I think so too. I'm open. I don't even know if I could say cautiously optimistic. I don't know how I don't know. I don't even know what to think about it. I'm curious. But again, tonally it looks a lot more like the first movie than I expected it to. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing yet.
We shall see. Soon, right? When is it?
October.
Oh, October.
Which is the right month to put that out. October 4.
Joker month. And then he has another one, $4.99. Cap, you need one more kid and name him or her the Hive Mind. Just cuz.
The Hive Mind? What's the name of your kid? Well, we named him Hive Mind. We want to make everybody think that there's like 19 people in there. We thought about Legion, but we went with Hive Mind.
Legion would be amazing.
Legion would be an amazing name for a person.
He just shows up with all 6 of his brothers and sisters and like, we are Legion.
It was between these things. It was going to be Legion, Hive Mind, or Collective.
Or Borg.
Well, Borg Collective and the Borg have a Hive Mind. It's already in there.
You call him Borg for short. Borg's the nickname.
Sounds Swedish. Anyway.
Last one from Teddy, $19.99.
Wow, thank you, man. Really appreciate you.
It's like, okay, Marvel, you can... Sorry, get the gong in there.
No, you're fine. The gong was premature. I prematurely gonged. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I hate when that happens. It's like, okay, Marvel, you can add an asterisk to your title after you win people back.
Yeah.
Not before.
That's the kind of move that you do after Guardians.
That's true. Guardians 3
not after Secret Invasion.
That should have had an asterisk.
It should have.
It's a show, we promise.
The fine print is, sorry, we really should have read comics. That would have been the way to go. You know, right here in the moment, I can't even remember the last thing I guess it was the Marvels, right? After the Marvels.
Yeah.
You announce a movie with an asterisk in the title, and you go, look how clever everybody's. No! Everybody is looking for reasons to make fun of you and dog on you right now. That's not what you do.
No press is bad press, I guess.
The room.
Read the world.
Read it.
I don't know.
That's the problem with Kevin Feige right now. He doesn't read.
No, he doesn't have time to read.
Apparently.
He's making 15,000 movies and shows.
Look, could it be really clever? Yeah, maybe. I don't think it's going to be, but maybe.
I hope so. I mean, I hope a movie made up of all the most uninteresting characters from their films, except for Yelena. She came alive in Hawkeye, but
yeah,
everybody else. Like, who was wanting Ghost? Who was like, I really need more Ghost, or like,
well, that's
Who needed more Taskmaster?
I didn't talk about that part of it because I just wanted to mention the stupid title thing. But like, again, second string, nobody is going to care about these characters. And the other thing is, what, like half of them are introduced or mostly drawn in TV shows that we know people didn't watch?
Half of them come from Black Widow. More than half of them come from the Black Widow movie.
Yeah, but like she got more to do in Hawkeye, like you said, and then U.S. Agent, who I liked until I didn't. I said half. I guess it's a little bit. Well, yeah, but then the Taskmaster.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. 3 of them.
Everybody hated her. What are you guys doing?
And then Selena.
Good luck with
Veep.
that.
Or Lane, I guess. Well, I hope it's great. I'm gonna sleep on it. I'm gonna pray about it. Get some sleep.
Well, anyway, DJ, we better get going.
We should. I'm gonna fall asleep here in a second. But what a great show!
I'm gonna get a message from DJ tomorrow. He's gonna
night.
be like, "Yeah, I'm not coming back."
I'm gonna call you at 6:30 in the morning and be like, "Wake up, Cap."
we'll see you again next Thursday, folks. Like I said, come out tomorrow night if you're so inclined. Austin and I are going to talk even more about superhero movie history and finally wrap up that show. Wherever that goes, we're going to do an hour to finish it, and then we're going to do another hour to talk about the future. It'll be kind of a catch-all speculation cast. And then we'll announce the new cool thing we're doing. Originally, we were going to do another review on some episodes of Legion, and I've watched several episodes of Season 2. DJ said it lost him. I'm kind of in that place with it, too. And not a lot of people saw that, and it's like I love that first season so much. I don't want to come on and just dog on it. There's just no reason to. Like, there's fun things in it. I don't hate it or anything, but I'm mostly just going to complain. I don't know what the point is of that, DJ. Like, less than 500,000 people watched episodes of that in the second season as it aired. Like, nobody saw that show. What is the point of coming on and complaining about it?
Yeah, I don't even remember much about, but I don't think it was bad. It just went in a direction that I didn't really care for, so I just stopped watching.
And it gets a lot more typical TV, which is kind of unfortunate. While at the same time, it's doing even crazier things than the first season does visually. Like, it's gorgeous, it's insane, but like the story's not holding together great, and I don't care enough about what's happening.
Yeah, that was me. I know Jeffrey watched all 3 seasons. He's a big fan of that show, but yeah.
And everybody says that third season turns around, so I'm gonna finish it. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know when and if I'll come back and talk more about it. Like, I might give an update on this show, but I'm probably not gonna do another full-blown review now that I've watched a lot of season 2. I've only got like 4 episodes left. But I will say this real quick before we go. It does one of the like cleverest things I've ever seen in a show. It waits until middle of season 2 before it finally does a previously on. Do you know about this?
No, I only got like 2.
Okay. So it felt like a show that would have a previously on. It never had one. And then all of a sudden they do one, and it feels like they do it just so they can make this joke. Because remember, Legion is all about perception and never knowing what is real and what isn't. They come up, and instead of previously on, they say, apparently on. And I was like, like, apparently on Legion. And I was like, that's amazing. And then 2-3 episodes later, they do it again. And I kid you not, it's ostensibly on.
That's amazing.
I was so happy.
They should have done one at the end, like in the last episode, and said potentially on, and then like just speculated about season 3.
Yeah, that'd be great. Well, anyway, thanks again for watching, folks. We'll see you again real soon. I was Captain Logan, and this was ostensibly DJ Martinez.
Who knows?
Bye, everybody.